Fury fam, we are back with another episode of Larry, Lucci, G, and Shake. I am here with you, and we got the panel open in a little bit. You'll have a chance to say your say, but I know you want to hear what Shake's got to say about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know you want to hear his meme game this week. I know you're interested in hearing what Lucci's got to say because he's got a lot to say, I'm sure. And we have the after school special with G. So we're going to get to it in a minute or so. I appreciate all the new subscribers on the channel. We've gotten a bunch in the last couple weeks. It's sad that we get so many subscribers when things are falling apart, and I think it's just because, hey, this channel keeps it real. This channel is not pulling any punches. This channel's giving you objectivity, and I think that's what people want to hear, especially in times where things are not going good. Things are dire. Things are weird, and that's where we're at now, sadly. Member Suicide Hotline here, Michael K says, hello, Larry. Sorry for your losses, plural. And I appreciate that, Michael K. I really do. Remember, you could become a member. Just click join. Just click join. We got Blackjack Green last time we were on. Become a member and see some perks and stuff behind the scenes. Chef Jew from Chef Jew Catering is in the building. Shout out to the Mod Squad and the Members Club. Subscribe, share, and donate. Your seat is waiting for you. Join the family. That's right, Chef Jew. Chef Jew is an ambassador, of course, and Chef Jew Catering is a sponsor of this show. So make sure you check that out and make sure you become a member. Click subscribe, click the like button. Let's get some more people in this building before we start the show tonight. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. Let's go and let's do what we have to do to keep some reality in this community. I was listening today to the Big O show because I listen to anything and everything Dolphins that I could get my hands on. And I noticed something about what Big O was saying. And I've seen this throughout the community recently. There's a whole lot of speculation, a whole lot of talk about the fact that this is Tua's team. And that without Tua, we looked absolutely terrible on Sunday. And we could barely move the football. We could barely do a thing against Seattle. And while that's true that we could barely do a thing and we couldn't move the ball, and this guy, Big O, was saying that, well, the biggest, most glaring, most problematic issue on this team and in this franchise currently is head coach Mike McDaniel. And I don't disagree with him that Mike McDaniel is a glaring problem on this team right now. Jericho comes in hot with a $10 super chat. Thank you, my brother. And he says, quite simply, Jericho says, we are in hell. And I have to say, if hell is the place where you're consistently rolling a boulder uphill only for it to fall down on you and roll it back up again, and not only are you having that boulder roll back up and back down and back up and back down in forever, but people around you are pointing and saying there is no boulder, or the boulder will eventually get over the mountain, or the guy returning from injury will push the boulder over the mountain. If that's hell, then we are definitely in it as Dolphins fans. Jericho, my brother, it's great to see you back at it. It's great to see you here. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the super chat. It keeps us going. It keeps us content creators moving. It keeps us creating content at the clip we're doing it. I'm trying to be on here as frequently as I can to talk to you guys about this franchise and to keep putting reality out into the atmosphere, because a lot of these Dolphins people refuse to do it. So, Jericho, you are the Fury Fam hero right now. Look, I was thinking about this McDaniel's the problem thing. He is. But here's what I was thinking, and I don't think people are really hitting on this quite enough. Big O was saying that Mike McDaniel was the wrong hire and that they got the hire wrong, and that's the problem. And he had the audacity to say that Mike McDaniel is holding Tua back. And I thought that was absolute nonsense. And here's why Mike McDaniel being the wrong hire and Mike McDaniel being the problem. Here's why that is you cannot separate it. Intrinsically linked to Tua Tagovailoa, to Chris Greer, and to big-eared Stephen Ross. The reason why that is all linked and it's intrinsic and it's you can't separate the two, inseparable, is because if you remember, there he is. Look at him. I'm a head out. That's him. I don't know if he's constipated. He's going to head out. He ate a bad hot dog, or he just looked at the play on the field, or a combination of all of them, but it wasn't good. So why are they all linked? I want everybody to understand this. Why are they all linked? Well, because if you remember, When Brian Flores got the axe, one of the main things I said on this channel was that the reason Brian Flores got the axe and the reason we were moving forward and looking for a new coach was the franchise had chosen 100% to go with Tua Tagovailoa. They were backing him no matter what. He was the future. Flores was not convinced, so they got rid of Flores and they brought in somebody else who was going to rock with Tua. And right then and there, that limited the coaching options that they had. And I told you this as we were going through the coaching search. They were not going to hire the best coach for the job and then ask that coach what he would do with Tua Tagovailoa. They were going to find a coach who would work with Tua, who was willing to work with Tua, who was a good fit for Tua and his skill set, who had a plan for Tua. So right then and there, you're limiting your pool of coaches. You can only bring in a coach who is going to work with Tua. You can only bring in a coach who's excited to work with Tua. You can only bring in a coach who's saddled with Tua and the GM, not just Tua, but Chris Grier. A coach who was willing to come in and work with Chris Grier and work for Chris Grier and work with Tua and maximize Tua's talent and not have any other perspective or on the direction of which way this team could go. So you could only bring in a coach who believed in Grier and believed in Tua. There were only a few coaches, I'm sure, of a decent caliber that were willing to come into the team under those circumstances. And so now you were left with Mike McDaniel because he was one of the few people willing to come into the team and be told who his quarterback was and be told who his GM was and be told who his pieces are and be told what type of philosophy we had to run in order to cater to Tua and maximize his skill set. And Mike McDaniel's primary objective, along with Chris Grier for the last 2 years, has been to bolster and emphasize Tua's progression and Tua's stats and Tua's growth to the best ability that they could, which was bringing in weapons like Tyreek Hill, drafted a player like Waddle that had already happened, signed guys like OBJ, any other receivers they can, and develop a system that caters to Tua's strengths and hides Tua's weaknesses. And the quick drop timing system that does not force Tua to have to read the field as much post-snap, that does not force Tua to put the team on his back from an athletic standpoint, that does not force Tua to improvise, but has receivers so fast, so talented, and such good route runners that Tua can drop back barely without thinking, mostly without thinking, and deliver the football in a timing offense was what Mike McDaniel implemented. And the first year of his tenure, he implemented it quite well. And he used motions that gave the receivers a head start. He used motions that threw defenses off. And he used certain other pre-snap gimmicks to try to get the offense rolling the way we wanted it to. And it worked for the time being. But the problem was when the competition committee got together in the offseason this year, and they decided that those motions were going to be illegal, that they weren't going to be able to be implemented. And when other defensive coordinators got together and decided, how can we attack this system? How can we stop Tua Tagovailoa? The fact was that when other teams punched, when the league punched back, we couldn't counterpunch. And that's because Mike McDaniel could not come up with any answers for people attacking us the right ways. And that's also because Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback he was brought in to maximize, is limited. And he only has certain things that he can do. And therefore, you can only counterpunch so much with that quarterback and that coach, which are both limited. And then you couple that with a GM who refuses to address the O-line, who loves to draft players and sign players who are beyond their prime or players that are injury prone, and you are left with what we are left with. And yes, Skylar Thompson comes in and he lays an absolute egg because this system is not geared towards Skylar Thompson, nor is Skylar Thompson necessarily, in my opinion, a upper echelon quarterback. But the fact of the matter is that part of Tua's limitation is his injury history. And I am sick and tired of hearing that only Mike McDaniel is the problem. He was holding Tua back. And now without Tua, this team is terrible. This team was terrible with Tua. The last 6 or so games going back to last year, this team was absolutely impotent on offense. And it's been on offense. Last year, the defense, despite the injuries, despite the relationship with Fangio that people didn't like, despite all that, the defense performed how it needed to perform to get things done. The offense could not move the ball 1 iota, could not move the ball 1 inch. And this season, with a new defensive coordinator, and thank you, Chef, with this season with a new defensive coordinator, rebuilt defense, which I wasn't even completely sold on rebuilding the defense. We are once again, I saw a stat today. This defense has only allowed 7 points the entire season in the second half. We had a pick sixes against Buffalo. That was the touchdown in the second half. So even though this defense is missing people that I think are key pieces, especially AVG and Wilkins, even though teams look like they can run it on us much better than they could last year, the defense is still, despite the shortcomings, doing what they have to do to get us to victory. Yet, just like last year, the offense is impotent. The offense can't do anything, and that's with Tua, and that's without Tua. So is it on the head coach because he can't do it when Tua's out? You're damn right it is. Is that on the quarterback who can't produce, who throws pick sixes, who throws 3 interceptions, who can't get on the same page with these other receivers, bums or not? Yes. Is this on Chris Grier, who refuses to address the offensive line? Yes. And Chef Jew says, Bevel needs to call plays from now on. Enough is enough with Coach McDaniel. It's true. He can't call plays. He can't do it. He can design plays. He can't call them. Not only can he not call plays, he can't get the plays in on time, but he struggles as a head coach with game day decisions. Going forward on 4th down, when to kick a field goal, he's struggling. I'm not giving him a pass in any way, shape, or form. But you're not going to scapegoat one guy so that you can leave the other 2 here. Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, they're all involved in this. They all deserve blame for this. None of them are up to par to get us to championships. And Stephen Ross is just as bad, but he's the owner, and I can't force the owner out. But it starts with him, and it has started with him. And I've said it for years. And people don't want to listen to me, but I've kept it consistent from day one on this channel. And I will continue to keep it consistent, especially with you guys all here supporting the channel and doing what you do. And that's it. And Miami Hurricanes would beat the brakes off the Dolphins with Cam Ward. Go Canes, go Dolphins, and yo, let's go after Cam Ward. We got to draft a quarterback, period. I don't care who it is. And Malik says, how you got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the same team and can't get him the ball? Exactly. I don't care who the quarterback is. And even with Tua, you couldn't get him the ball. Come on now. It's a joke. I've been saying that. I've been saying that phrase way too many times, guys. I'm getting sick of saying it. I'm sick of saying it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. But the fact is, it is a joke. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Click the join button. Join Fury Fam. Let's get it popping. Let's go. And let's do what we got to do. And with that said, shake money.
Morning, Your Majesty. It is another beautiful day in Zamunda.
Shake.
What's going on?
I need you to just, first of all, I mean, you tell me. You want to go into the good, the bad, the ugly, or you want
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. Let's do it.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Hit me, Shake.
Well, the good, fall. We got fall weather coming in. I didn't have too much humidity, and I got to do some yard work. Instead of watching the Dolphins game, I just finished doing my yard work.
That is good.
Also, we have basketball around the corner, so go Heat. Okay. The bad.
I like it.
The bad. Let me see. We only scored 3 points.
Jesus.
The bad. We had 11 penalties. And the ugly. What's that? I don't know. I forgot who sings it, but let the bodies hit the floor. That's
a great song.
That's huh?
That's a great song.
Who sings that song?
Oh, let the bodies hit the floor. I forget the name of the band. I listen to it when I'm super like hyped or super angry.
Well, that should be Chris. That should be Christopher Greer's theme song, because if the offensive line plays like it is, the bodies are going to hit the floor.
That's true. Drowning Pool was the name of that band.
Yeah. Bodies are going to hit the floor.
Yeah. That is Chris Greer's theme song. You think he sets that up in his office, like when he just gets hyped and starts wilding out?
Now he said he plays that when he's who's deciding who he's going to sign in free agency. That's when he does it.
Starts going through his list.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying when the O-line. We're like, yo, what's wrong with the O-line? He just started, nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with that guy? Why is he smirking at the press conference? What's the O-line? What do you think? The O-line is really good. Yeah, bro? because it's really not.
As he's vaping.
And that's gonna help segue into my memes because we have this gem right here.
Hey,
I think you guys are probably more worried than we are. Chuck yourselves. Look at that face, bro. Why is he smirking about it? And he's got no dolphin in his logo because it headed out, like the meme.
Look at that.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Look. Oh, I see below. That's even better. I didn't see that at first, bro. I didn't see the two of them on the ground. Oh man, that's funny.
And by the way, shout out to the people that do the elevator. You know what I'm talking about, the elevator?
Yes. Yes.
Because it pretty much sums up the season.
that is just. Did that really happen, or is that like just something they?
I think somebody cropped it. I guess somebody
man.
must have photoshopped that.
That's booty.
But that was funny.
Dolphins is our booty right now. Period. That's what the whole organization right now is looking like nonsense. Ridiculous. I love that.
And we have
crazy eyes. I love that. That's what he is, bro. That's what he is. Like what is different about him and Gase, really, other than the capris? There's not much different. It's the same screen impotent offense that we had that you can't figure out how to do anything for year 3. Done.
By the way, did you see Mike McDaniel's shirt in the fourth quarter?
No.
He changed his shirt in the fourth quarter.
No, I did not see that. Well, the report is, Shake, that Tua was at Disney. So that
but I'm saying he wish he was too. I guess he's wishing now he's at too.
You wish he was at Disney.
I guess Tua gave him a good recommendation.
Yeah, but not for a doctor because apparently Tua missed his appointment. So who knows? What is going on? What is going on in this franchise, bro? I don't understand. Those were good. Those are good. Those are very appropriate for the moment, and I appreciate you injecting some humor into this non-humorous situation, Shake. I really, truly do. We got Adam Sadowski in the chat, Fury fan member. What's Fins up, y'all? Fins up. Too bad they're trending down, Adam, but I'm with you at all times. I'm always going to rep the Fins.
Yeah, Fins up.
Fury fan.
And after Lucci and Greg get done with their segments, I want to bring up something to you.
Yeah.
So I'll let those gentlemen do their thing.
All right, you guys tell me who goes first. First, I got to thank the super chat, dropping dimes, dropping super chats. Seattle is 3,300 miles from Miami, and we went all the way up there just to kick a field goal. It's Flores' fault. Bro, that is true. We went all the way up there, and the only damn thing we did was kick a field goal. We literally did nothing else. I appreciate the super chat dropping dimes. That was a dime to drop because it's actually, when you really think about it, that's pretty bad. That's pretty much a joke.
What makes it even worse is when you think about how we got that 3 points is when we got the pick like inside the 5-yard line, and that's all we could muster up. That's what really makes it bad when you think about it.
That's a great point because I remember sitting there thinking about that. Like, look what the defense did. They set us up with such a short field, and as I watched us stumble every single play and kick the field goal, I just thought about how indicative it was of how bad this offense is this year and the end of last year, where you get that good field position in the pros and you can't convert anything more than a field goal when you desperately needed a touchdown. It's an absolute joke. And Adam says we better beat the Titans no matter who the QB is. You got Tua side talking about the Bills, talking about Hamlin taking him out, which is just crazy. And Chef Jew saying 10 days to prepare, and they crap the bed. It's just a joke. Dropping dimes. Thanks again for the super chat. Lucci, go right into it, man. And then I'm going to do the after-school special because Greg got out on time again. Ace test, swagging over campus. I don't know what he's up to now, but go for it, Lucci.
I mean, there's really not much to talk about besides the fact that we had that situation where the defense set us up good and, come up with a field goal. Then there was another time we were inside the 10 or something like that, even closer maybe. Got 4 tries, couldn't get in. I mean, it's just it's a big mess right now. Then I watched McDaniels. And I could never stand to listen to this guy talk, even when we were doing good. When he, I never liked him. I mean, I come on here and I'd say stuff that he'd do that annoyed me, but talking to you, Larry, or the shit, like I've never liked McDaniel. I mean, it's just now there was certain stuff. If you watched, like I knew that I was happy we won games, but I'm just not happy with just winning. I want to compete.
Yes.
And there were signs, man, way early on, even when it was looking good, little stuff, man, that he wouldn't change, that he kept doing. And I said, it's going to come back and bite us. People were like, oh, you can't just be happy. And now look what's happening. I complained back then, he runs the same plays all the time to the same guys all the time. And now he hasn't switched it up to the point where even Shake said earlier, we can't even get it to those guys anymore.
Right.
It's terrible, man. And I don't know what this big guy, I know Big O, I never heard of him. I don't know who he is, but it's asinine to think that McDaniel held back Tua, because this guy had him at the pinnacle of regular season stats. And if there was he brought him there, nobody else. But
agreed, 100%. He brought him to the highest height he's going to get to. So that is an asinine comment. I completely 100% agree.
They reached that, and that
is tied to the hip with Tua, so he
yes,
doesn't want to look like he's an idiot.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll say this: McDaniel can't say, "Oh, it's because of Tua holding." He's limited because listen, this guy had Skylar Thompson was trying to do the same things Tua did. And I said it last week. Yes. I'm not a huge Tua guy, but Tua is spectacular. What Tua's good at, he's probably the best in the league, if not right there with the best at them timing throws. And you could see Skylar was stuttering like he didn't know, man, there was no preparation.
Yes.
Then it was the preparation was terrible. And I said last week, we had 10 days. I said, if there's a positive going into this game and the timing for not positive Tua got hurt, but if there was a positive to come out of it, there was that much more time to prep for this game and to get Skylar ready. Man, it looked like he just decided he was going to use them the day before when they got there. There was no preparation. It was terrible.
I thought the way you just said that hits the nail on the head, quite frankly. Like when they got there, i.e., it's the same exact offense, it's the same exact game plan, and I'm just gonna plug this dude in and we'll just call the same plays. Like when they got there, it's true. It seemed like there was no preparation or design or anticipation of how to use a guy with a different skill set, and it's inexcusable. And also, why do they think they could plug any receiver in at any time? Tyreek's on the sideline like every play, every other play. They think they could plug anybody at quarterback, anybody at wide receiver, and have this system work. And that's just nonsense. It shows the hubris of this team, this organization.
Yeah, it's bad. And everybody, look, I see people saying Tyreek quit and all this. I don't like to hear that. I don't agree with that. Tyreek came to this team. This is the only player I've seen in a long time was talking a whole bunch of trash about what he's going to do and this and that, and got paid the money and lived up to he's lived up to every red cent, in my opinion, since he's been here. And, man, he looked dejected, rightfully so. You look at us as fans and see how we feel after the way last season ended and the opportunities it seemed that we had. What do you think these guys? I know everybody says they get paid millions of dollars, and some of these guys are real competitors, and they do put in the work, and they go in there, and they put in the work, and then you don't think that they want to win, and I feel like now Tyreek is like, man, whether he feel like he can't stay healthy or whether he feel like McDaniel can't figure it out or whatever the case may be, it wasn't just him. A-Chan looked dejected. You could see his face. If you watched him, he's like, God dang, man. Everybody looked dejected, man. Our defense was the only thing, that I could say was a positive. And but here we go again with the defense and them being on the field so much. Let me tell you something. The injuries we had last year, you don't think that them being on the field so much attributed to some of them injuries? And then look at now how much time. I wish I knew. I don't do stats. I just do the eye test and come up here with what I see. But Think of how much our defense has been on the field already 3 games into this season. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah,
It's going to happen. Campbell, this guy's my age. You think he's going to be able to? He's out there making a noise right now, but you think he's going to be able to last? I mean, it's a plane crash waiting to happen. I'll close with, I hope Huntley starts. I mean, this is where I'm at. Last week I was like, okay, we got Skyler. Let's see what, at least we don't know what Skyler. Okay, now I know what Skyler got. I'm sorry. The preparation, no preparation, either it's in you or it ain't. This kid was out there shaking in his boots, man.
Yeah, bro.
There's no dog. He's a cur.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. He's a cur dog. That's it. He's a cur. He had no, man, he just looked scared to death. I made a comment. It looks like he drinks prebiotic soda. This guy, he had no killer. It's over. That you can't depend on him. The Huntley at least can move around. We need a guy that can move. With the line as terrible as it is, somebody has to be able to move and just make it happen. And the kid's a hometown kid. He's from down the way, so let's get him in there. At least I know I grew up playing football down there. We know how to make it happen, and at least there's that.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that too. I'm hoping for him to start.
Hopefully, if he goes in there and lights it up, and I mean, it's against Tennessee.
Yes,
they're as bad as we are.
They're not good.
With less weapons.
Yeah,
they got a run game nowhere near like us. They got a D-Hop that's old and isn't the same D-Hop. They're nothing like us, but they're like us as far as being terrible. Yeah. It's at home. It should be a revenge game. There should be some added, want to go out there and so, man, hopefully if you're going to start a quarterback who doesn't know the playbook too good, do it against this team. Don't put this, what the hell is this, Boyle? Come on, man.
How could we bring in Boyle after seeing what he did for the Jets against us last year, where we pretty much dominated them because of him?
Hold on. Now, I'll tell you why, Larry. And again, I said this on Facebook. Maybe you guys ain't. The Jets are such a terrible organization. Look at Sam Darnold. I watched my cousin, my favorite.
Look at the quarterback that we played was drafted by the Jets.
Okay. You see, I'm getting into that too. But listen, my cousin's a Vikings fan, so I watched that game because we obviously weren't on until 4. And man, Sam Darnold looked fantastic. Man, this guy played flawless football, man.
He did, bro.
Then you look at Geno Smith, like Shakes just said. This guy, I mean, we all watched it, and last year, look what he did. The Jets are just terrible.
That is true.
Terrible. These guys, and now Boyle, I said that to say this for you, Larry. Boyle, you say he looked for the Jets. Look how everybody looks for the Jets. Except maybe Aaron Rodgers the other day. We've seen one good showing with Aaron Rodgers, but give him some time. They'll ruin his career too. Just chill.
They did it to Favre. But the Jets, it's funny because I know a lot of Jets fans, and even they were saying good for Darnold because they knew the Jets ruined him. They're like, oh, nice. I'm good to see Darnold balling out. They like seeing it because they know their organization screws up quarterbacks. Like they even know.
Bro, he was throwing lasers. He was throwing such lasers that like 3 or 4 times the defensive back would get their hand on it, and the receiver would still make the catch because it'd go through their hand.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I watched it with my own eyes. I'm not making it up.
No, you're right. And that's another dude who you get away from an organization that doesn't know what they're doing, and all of a sudden you start doing well. And even some guys that leave us do well, and it hurts to see, Like I think Flores, his defense has the most sacks through the first 3 games of.
Bro, their defense is all over the place, man.
Crazy.
All over the place.
I like that team just like to follow them this year just because they look pretty good, bro.
ABG looks fantastic. It was nice watching him.
I love that kid.
Man, it's just whatever.
Yeah, but it is. All right, G.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Now, Michael K said the defense has only been on the field 91 minutes and 59 seconds of the 180 minutes.
That's half the time.
Shoot. That's half.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't seem like that.
And they're doing well, though. I mean,
they drive. Okay, so they drive up the field and just don't score. Okay, so we have some sustaining drives, but
Yeah, well, think about against Buffalo. We drive and then it ends in a turnover.
I didn't watch it. After 2 through the second pick, I went to bed. I wasn't joking
Yeah.
about that, so I didn't get to see that game.
They want to blame the receivers. I know they weren't great, but like you still hit a dude in the back shoulder. You still threw, I don't know, whatever. The team's a mess, and Tua's not going to save it, and no one else is going to save it. And
Except Huntley, maybe. We got Huntley. That's
actually,
it.
I'd like to see
every week it's like, well, at least we don't know what's happening.
Bro, it sounds like the Jets last year. They're like, well, we got no Wilson, but now we got Boyle, and then they had whoever, like Mike White, and then they just it's always some new guy.
Some new guy, man.
I really like Huntley though. I'm excited just to see what he could do, just because he's different than the other.
I seen his interview. He looked like a happy kid. He's talking, he's positive, and and he's a hometown kid. I said that about Teddy Two Gloves too, and thought he was going to show his, but and I was let down. But maybe this will be a different thing.
Yes,
Tua says it was a great game for the listener fans.
Chad Jr., he's right. Chad Henne, Matt Moore, Jay Ajayi left us and got Super Bowl rings. I mean, shoot.
They did. But the only one I'll give credit for that really was Chad Henne, because he had to step in and carry the load while Mahomes was hurt a few games, and he did what he was supposed to do. And
Matt Moore did too.
Yeah, he did actually. Didn't he?
Matt Moore did too. Yeah. Jay Ajayi, I was sad to see him go. I don't know. I remember them saying that he was just.
I remember him being such a baller, and then Gase the next year after he was killing it. Gase switches up. That's what I'm saying, though.
He had like 200 yards every time he played Buffalo. You remember that, Michael K?
Yes. Remember that Buffalo game to make the playoffs at the end of the year? Bro, Gase was stubborn like McDaniel. Like, he didn't want to alter this blocking scheme to benefit Ajayi. So the next year, Ajayi was nowhere near the same player. And then I remember still to this day, Gase's corny press conference with his wild eyes looking every which way. And he sits there and says, well, we're going to have to make changes. The players don't like it. Fans ain't going to like it. But that's what we're going to do. Next day, Ajayi's gone. And he goes and wins a ring. And Gase goes to the Jets and has taco memes made about him now. That's what happened.
What did it ever come out? What had his eyes doing that? And that that was the most wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Remember, his assistant coach was doing coke off the table. They were saying maybe he's doing that. Like, can't wait to see you, baby. Can't wait. Yeah, what's going on with this organization, bro? That came out on like a Wednesday in the middle of the season, just for no reason. Just can't wait to see you, baby. You know what I'm doing? I gotta go to work. I don't know if Gase was in on that.
They were hanging out. Yeah.
Why? That's only
Trailblazer. That's what was happening.
Damn right, man.
It was crazy. I was on vacation in New York when that all took place, so I was up there having a good time making fun of it.
What the hell? Really? That's what Gase even says when he looks at the offensive line. Remember his offensive? And one thing is funny is every time we get a good offensive line, we destroy it. Like I remember Sperano 09. That was like the best O-line we've had in years. And next year, they're like, well, we're going to shuffle this guy, sit this guy, put this guy here. And I don't get the media always co-signs. They're like, Omar's always sitting there like, well, he wasn't that good. You had to. I'm like, it was good. And every time they screw with it, it sucks. Last year, you got Connor. You got Wynn. You got no Wynn's hurt, but you got Connor. You got Hunt. And you just, we'll switch it up, get Brewer in here, put the back. Like, what are you doing?
Well, we had the one time Richie Incognito. And, I love Richie Incognito. It was kind of his fault that happened. But
one of my boys played ball with Richie in college.
I heard he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, Richie was he was crazy, but he was originally from Jersey and moved to Arizona. He was like an okay dude. And that whole thing, whatever, man. Like, I'm not going to give my opinions on it, but like Jonathan, he wasn't very good. I don't know if he
wasn't mentally fit.
Yeah, that whole era. That was another Dolphins just mess.
Yeah.
And Richie was a beast.
He was. He was the Brian Cox of an offensive line. Yeah. If a guy needed straightening, he'd give it to him. You don't see that too much from offensive linemen. He was an animal. And it's to have that on your offensive line, like, that's what you need.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a once in a lifetime, and it was all ruined.
Oh, it was a mess. Why do we keep drafting these West Coast linemen in college, and then they don't really stack up like these athletic tackles that they say they're going to be athletic, but then they wind up being turnstiles or taking forever to develop, and they're okay. And so it's just the philosophy of this team And the philosophy of this team is a soft one, and it starts with Ross. And that's just what I think about it. I think it's going to be hard to ever get out of that because it's just a cycle of soft. They go with Flores, whether he's the answer or not, they get right back to the softness. He's the only harder coach we've ever had since Ross has been here. And I think that's a problem. That's why I'm pulling for like a guy like Vrabel or another guy like that, a Gruden, whoever, guys that are hard-nosed football coaches who understand how to get a team to be disciplined. The penalties we're seeing is it the sloppy, disgustingly sloppy play. From tight ends, from wideouts, from everybody, just consistent penalty after penalty is a joke. That's not a well-coached football team. And it's because I think Tua said something like, it's not Mike's team, it's our team or something. And I understand you want the players to take ownership, but it's more like it should be like a father handing it off to his aging son, not they walk in the building and the coach is their little brother. And I think McDaniel plays that up too much. Like, I'm just here to help you. I'm here to help your skills instead of, yo, you're a cohesive unit. I'm in charge of you. It falls on me, so you better perform. And the fact is he can't do that, and it's a damn problem. And listen to Chef Jew. Subscribe, like, share, and donate out here. Join Fury Fam. We keep it real. We talk. We go off the cuff, but we talk. Hit subscribe. Hit the join button. Throw a donation. We appreciate it. Become a member like Michael K here, because even he gets to post craziness, and I have to post it because he's a member. You see what happens? It's ridiculous. But become a member. I'll post yours too. G, you, when I talked to you pre-show, you were walking home. You were feeling like big man on campus. Just took a test, a quiz. I don't know what. And before we get to the show, now you're back in your famous room with the blue walls, ready to pop off. So let's hear the after-school special. We already saw the G the Legend rant, which is becoming quite a favorite of fans of the Phin-Addict Fury channel. What do you got to say, bro?
Yeah, I had my first exam this semester. I think I did pretty well, but every time I feel like I do pretty well, I end up doing pretty bad. I get like a 50, but you know, I did my best. I take my time. I did the test once, and then I read it all over again, and I was happy with it. So it is what it is now. But yeah, I saw first thing I got to point out in the video, guys. I know I say I hate this team. I know I hate this team. I'm gonna stop, but really, I love this team. There's gonna be no reason I'm gonna stop loving this team. You know, sometimes when you get in a heated argument with your mom, your dad, maybe your brother, maybe your sister, maybe your aunt, your uncle, you always say you hate them, but 2 hours, maybe a day, you make up and you love them again. Okay, so just gotta point that out. I know I say I hate the team, but I love the team. My favorite team. You know, I'm wearing my Red Sox hoodie, but I love Dolphins more than my Red Sox. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I gotta point out a comment here from this geek in the comment section. Dark Horse Nick is a fickle, fake fan. This guy is a geek. He's calling me a Tua hater. Hey, Dark Horse Nick, you made your account 2 weeks ago. You fickle, you fake fan, you geek. Calling me a Tua hater. Hey, Dark Horse Nick, what were you doing on Sunday? I bet you weren't supporting Skylar. I bet you were taking your victim lap Sunday night. Where are my real Dolphin fans at? All my real Dolphin fans, comment TB14, ST19, and TH18 to support our quarterback. Until proven otherwise, Tim Boyle is the best quarterback on this team. Blank period. These people come out for me. They come for Larry. They come for TD. They come out all the real fans saying we're fake fans. They are fickle. And the Big O is the biggest fickle of them all. I saw that stream, Larry. He's throwing the geek under the bus.
Yes, right.
Meanwhile, these fickle were cheering, jumping up and down for McDaniel. Now they're throwing him under the bus. And guys, I hate to tell you, McGeek's not going anywhere because Christopher is going to get the blame. His butt is going to get run out of town. They'll bring a new GM in, and they're going to keep McGeek. They're going to keep Tua.
So sad, it's true.
They're going to keep extending this. They're going to keep kicking the can down the road. And 2 years from now, when they hire the new GM, he's going to be like, I didn't have my coach. I didn't have my quarterback. They're going to get rid of Tua. They're going to get rid of McGeek, and then we're going to start it all over again.
Why do they do that? They just got a clean house. And one thing, bro, I'll say, it's so true. All these dudes, they don't care if we lose. They want us to lose just because Tua's out. So they can say that we need Tua. They couldn't wait to post like, oh, I guess you need Tua now. Tua brings this team up, not holds it back. All this nonsense. I'm like, bro, he went out at the end of the Buffalo game. He threw 3 picks. What are we talking about? What are we doing? Fickle fan over here.
I thought Stephen Ross changed back when he came out and said Christopher's going to get in charge. He's going to hire the coach. He hired Flores, which has been the best coach since Don Shula. At least he's the best coach of my lifetime, Brian Flores. And then of course I guess Creer and Flores were having disagreements and stuff. They were having whatnot. That's what the excuse was. I'm here to tell you guys, nobody wanted Tua. Only Christopher. Brian Flores didn't want Tua. He wanted Love. He wanted Herbert. He wanted Watson. Stephen Ross didn't want him. The only reason why Stephen Ross, kept with the Tua and Greer is because it makes him the money. It makes him the money. They sell
Tua makes money, bro. He
sells the money.
Jerseys.
Here I thought Stephen Ross changed. He's letting Greer do his thing. He brought in Flores. And I thought it would be the Greer and Flores show. No, Stephen Ross is the same scumbag, this piece of garbage, Mr. Magoo. And I hate to say it, but I think this team will be better off when Stephen Ross is in the casket, bro. I mean,
look at.
I hate to say it, but I think it's true because
you say it to his face. Say it to his face, G.
It's there in the casket because they were talking about it today on the Spaces about how Tom Garfinkel and the other geeks are running there's too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yes.
What are we doing here?
Yes.
Tom Garfinkel is this clown.
Yeah, why is he involved? He's just the guy.
CB83, what's good, homie?
CB, what up? He's just a fool that changed the logo for no reason, and all you got is these guys. Yeah, I love the new logo.
Yeah, there was
Mr. Ross.
The media team.
Thanks for the shade.
This media, some geek.
Thanks for the shade.
That's all people talk about for years. We got shade. Now I like the shade. I'm just saying, though. That's all they cared about. He paid for shade. You leave that man alone. What does whatever? Paid for shade so they can go to concerts.
Too, Larry.
It's still hotter than a motherfucker in that shit.
It's still hot in there, bro. Come on now.
And our media team are a bunch of geeks that are afraid.
They are.
Stick up to them. They just take it up the what, and they just keep their mouth shut because if they open their mouths, they're gonna lose the passes and all the goodies. And one of our media teams on Twitter, he said, "Oh, if the season ended today, the Dolphins would be in the playoffs." Hey,
I heard that, and I thought that was just stupid.
You geek! You're happy with the team that has played like garbage. Our offense sucks. This offense hasn't done anything since week 3. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but basically last year. Our offense was fantastic, and then down the stretch, it sucks. It still sucks. This offense is a waste of time. You can put me in quarterback, and I can't even make this offense look good.
No, it's a joke, and I think the media is a big part of it. If you watch, they'll kind of go at them the night of the game, and then the next day they'll start spitting the narrative out. I couldn't believe who was it? Was it Barry? Was it Barry Jackson who was like, "Good news, Tua was in Disney the next day, and he didn't show any signs of a concussion." I'm like, this is the type of dude. This is the type of reports we're getting. That's why people follow the nonsense. Because, didn't you hear? He was in Disney. He's going to be good. He's going to Epcot. Bro, I don't care if he's in Disney. What does that have to do with him playing football? He missed a neurology appointment. He's in Disney. But the Dolphins love pushing out those stories like jiu-jitsu, Disney, gaining weight, losing weight, OBJ. They love pushing out those, tabloid stories in the off season, and then they never put it together on the field. And these media people refuse to hold them accountable. Very few media people, very few have said, you know what? They really weren't good even when Tua was here. They've been bad. A few of the honest ones. Everybody else is starting to that narrative. Well, they really need Tua back. So how long can they go? And then even let it slip out. He's like, well, Tua could come back and ball out. I don't know. I'm like, bro, it'll never end.
Even if Tua comes back, I have no hope. This line sucks. Tua kind of, he's whatever at this rate. Actually, he sucks. I'm going to say it. I said it on Sunday. I don't care what these people think of me. He sucks. This guy sucks. I said it during the draft process. When I know it wasn't on YouTube then. I'm telling my friends back when Tua said he's coming to the draft. This decision right here is what's going to set the Dolphins back another 20 years. Because this guy coming off the injury, Ross, they were probably Flores and Greer are probably going to sit him, but nope. Stephen Ross has to meddle in, start Tua so we can make some money off the ticket sales and the jersey sales. Tua makes me upset. This guy sucks. And you know what's going to happen for us real fans? We know the truth. We know how this offense operates. We know that this quarterback sucks. But no, this organization is going to keep kicking the can down the road 5 years, and we're going to be stuck with this guy for another 10 years, and we have to deal with the nonsense. We have to deal with the BS narratives. We have to deal with these Tua geeks, these fickle, these fake fans. I quite frankly had enough, and you know what? I'm here for the clown show. I'm just going to sit back in the back corner, eating my popcorn, enjoying every second of this.
I love this Mr. Finisher. I don't know if is that like duct tape, like packing tape. What we got? Like this community is wild.
I was mentioning to Lucci. You remember Dumb and Dumber?
Oh
when
yeah.
they sold
they sold
that parakeet.
Dude, I saw. What was it? You said on Happy Hour. He's like, our pet. He's like, we can't get this. Like, I lost money. Our pets' heads are falling off. Take you to a place where the champagne flows. Like, what is it? Like,
but real quick, I want
to. Where did he say he was going though? Because he was going to Aspen. Like,
Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah, but he said like the wrong thing about it.
Australia. No, aren't you from Austria? You go Australia.
Yeah. A little place called Aspen, and he's like, "What a nice accent, New Jersey." Like, actually, Austria. Well, throw another shrimp on the bar. So how about when he's like, Dumb and Dumber is our friggin' team right now. He's like Samsonite. I was way off.
Yeah, Swappy.
Bro, this team is like when he comes up with that bike and he like. You know, in the mountains or whatever, because the truck breaks and he pulls up on that little scooter thing. And this team is like, yo, Tua goes and throws like one screen pass or something, or we beat some bad team. And Greer goes up to McDaniel and he's like, just when I think you couldn't get any dumber, you go out and completely redeem yourself.
Yeah.
No, actually, this team is like when the bus stopped. Yeah, we need 2 guys to oil us up. Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? Hey, town is that way.
Dude, this team, you could make a whole movie just with analogies of that movie and this team. Nonsense that goes on about it. Is that what you were going to bring up to me, Shake, that you said before, or was something else?
Okay, being that you are a prosecutor, right, attorney? The one thing I'm sure you look for.
Tori, what's up, Tori?
Oh, look who's in the building.
My guy
Tori,
right
what's
there.
up, Tori Day in the building? What's going on? Hey, by the way, I will be dropping my my Tuesday shakedown video after later tonight.
Nice.
So
that's on the Den, right? Dolphin Fan Den, man. If you're not on there on Facebook, go to the Dolphin Fan Den. Tori's running that. Tori started that from scratch, and it's absolutely blown up.
You know, and Larry, one more thing I got to address too. I seen the fickle out there from these positive Lucky Charm eating fans. You might want to put the picture up. I mean, these people out
here. Let me throw it up. We're going to show you who we're talking about here. We're talking about these guys.
Yep, these people out here, Larry, are saying, oh, well, the 49ers are 1-2. We're 1-2, and we're overreacted. Hey, geeks. Hey, fickle. Hey, fake fans. Hey, positive Lucky Charm eating. You know what? This team hasn't won in 24 years. What are we doing? The 49ers just made the Super Bowl last year. If we made the Super Bowl last year, I wouldn't be overreacting as much. This team hasn't won anything. Stop giving them the pass.
Fickle is Finkel. That's what I say to these people.
Done with the positive.
I don't understand why they paid McDaniel or Tua.
Me either, bro. I don't understand it.
Let this year dictate what happens. You know, that's the whole point. I thought of a 5th-year option.
What I don't understand,
McDaniel, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The McDaniel, it makes it more enticing. So when he gets fired, he'll sign that NDA, whatever. So
bro, you know what, too? And I guess so. He doesn't do what Flo did. And
Raph, how you doing, bud? Good to see you.
What's up, Raph, man? But here's my thing is, you know, to your point, Lucci, I don't like how the narrative, again, speaking of narratives, I really resent how the narrative last year, with just a few games outside of losing in the wild card, yet again blowing the division, the narrative became amongst many in the media and many of the fans that we were so great because the stats were so high. conflating the early season victories to the late season collapse and acting like the questions were answered because Tua made it through one season healthy and had decent stats, but still melted down. The answers and the questions still remain. And this season would have answered it because he would have gone down again and McDaniel would have looked completely impotent and the team would have been terrible. But instead of waiting, they acted like we had the answers and they went ahead and fooled us.
The thing is, like Q saying, can't blame Tua this week. But I beg to differ, my guy. It's because he's injured again that we're in this situation, bro.
Yeah.
And how much more is it going to be? We're in this situation again because he's injured.
And I also think,
and it's not even like, listen, it's not even like he took a blind side. Yo, he was running and had the first down. And then like 2-3 yards later, dove head first into a player that was standing. Yo, this is DeMar Hamlin. It's not like this is Troy Polamalu. He just tried to stop him from running.
He did.
It wasn't no drop down. It wasn't a truck. It wasn't anything.
No, you're right.
We can blame Tua. Yo, you slide. What are you doing?
That too. He could have slid.
What are you doing to jiu-jitsu? You've been in the league this many years, about to slide, and you got to slide and all this other shit about he always says, part of me, well, I got to learn how to slide. Yo, he forgets what. And I 100% can blame Tua. And anybody else that listen to what I'm saying, yo, how long are we going to have to worry about if this guy takes a hit? Who are we going to have to back up? We're going to end up having to pay a backup quarterback as much money as we pay him to have him on the field.
Yeah, Tua's getting fired on his day off again.
You got to.
But
it's serious, though. How can you not think about it being Tua's fault?
Yeah.
He just had to slide. He wouldn't have got hurt.
Yeah.
Not on that play anyways. It's 100% Tua's fault.
But let me I want to get to my point.
Even now, people, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
We're going to open up the panel.
Go ahead, Shake.
So anyway, you look for patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You want to prosecute somebody, or how much you want to prosecute the patterns of the person. You know what I'm saying, Stanley? Mm-hmm. So check this out. When McDaniel got hired, I said, we're on this show. I said, I want to see how he's going to look in year 3 because Joe Philbin. These are the guys that been under Stephen Ross. Okay. Joe Philbin, Adam Gase, Brian Flores, now Mike McDaniels. Okay, they started off hot, right? And they started off hot, whatever, right? First year, second year, everybody's bought into it, And you know what's funny is I see the same pattern. Like the first year, doing good. Second year. Oh man, even better. And then they're starting to compare him. They're starting to make the Shula comparisons after year 2, 1. You know what I'm saying? Each coach, Brian Flores, Adam Gase, they all were making their whatever. Year 3 comes around. If you look at all these coaches, one thing they have in common after year 3, start off slow. You look at them on their sideline, they look dejected. They look like they don't want to be there. Every coach that's been playing for the Miami Dolphins since Ross got hired in year 3, I see the same pattern over and over. And again, Philbin, Gase. So this is the 4th one. Fucking Brian Flores, his last year, he didn't shave his head. He didn't shave his beard. Look at this. Look at McDaniel. Same thing.
Yeah, I think I've been saying
I've
been saying that at the end of the day, man, I've seen the pattern and it seems like it's the same thing with Ross. And I think it's indicative of the fact that he likes to hire the up and coming gimmicky offensive guru who initially his offensive X and O scheme catches everybody off guard. And he gains some goodwill because they light up the scoreboard a little bit and teams don't know how to deal with it. Now, mind you, they never make deep runs into the playoffs. They've never even won a playoff game, any of those guys you mentioned. But they have a little gimmicky offense and they do what they can with that gimmicky offense and they get where they're going with it. And then teams buy in. Then the next year, it's like everybody's buying in because they got some of their pieces and the team has bought in a little. So they have a little bit of moderate success. But they don't make a deep run in the playoffs, but everybody gets giddy about it. And then by the 3rd season, everybody's figured them out. They were weak body from jump. They were never really built for it from jump because their personalities are the same personalities that Ross likes to hire and bring in here, which are soft and not really leaders or managers of guys like that. And that's where we wind up being. And I think that is a pattern. And that's why I keep blaming Ross. I've been talking about Ross for since I started the channel, because I think the culture comes from him.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I like to think. Like their first 2 years, all right, you know what? Here we go. What do you want? This and that. And then after the third year, they stop taking their input. So it's like if you stop, like for instance, if you're at a job, right, in your third year, and they stop taking your input, and they and like, you know what, we're gonna make decisions from here on out. You just coach. You can be like, oh, fuck it, I don't want to do the shit no more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a big disconnect between McDaniel and fucking the organization.
Go in the swear jar, Shake. You swear jar. But I know what you're saying.
It's such a frustrating topic to talk about. It's so hard to do it without cursing.
I agree, though. I think, and I think that's even with regular jobs. Like, you get in, you're the new guy. There's a lot of fanfare. You were hired to do a certain job. You were hired to fit into a certain directive, and you get to give input. They listen to you. They rock with you a bit. And then, as it gets stale and as you get sick of their nonsense, you realize how it really works. They realize what you're about, and you start to get frustrated about the hopelessness of the organization. And I think working in this place over time, you get sick of the hopelessness of the organization. Now, what I will say is I think that a guy like McDaniel, guys like Philbin, Gase, maybe to a lesser extent, I think Gase at the end was fed up with it. But those other two guys, man, they're yes men. They're going to sit there and say, oh, whatever you say. And they're not really going to challenge the status quo. They're not going to call it out. And what's happening now is the players are coming to Miami, not because they think they can win, not because they love the culture per se, but because they have freedom to do what they want. There's no state income tax. South Florida is a dope place to be, dude. The weather's good. There's a lot to do. There's good food. There's all kinds of things like that. There's no reason not to go there for those reasons, but the coaches and the organization is hollowed out because they don't have the balls to speak up. And even if they do, it doesn't go anywhere because the ownership group, the managers, and the GM are completely just hollowed out and impotent and can't get anything done. So there are certain bureaucratic failures in the Dolphins organization, just like many other failing organizations, that can't be rectified by swapping out middle management like a head coach. And they're never going to get to the root of the problem as long as this owner and this culture is the way that it is, bro.
What's up, my guy Horace? Hey, I'm out of here, fellas. I got to take care of some stuff.
Later,
man. Good seeing everybody. Horace, good to see you. Shake, Peace, Greg, Larry, everybody in the chat, Chef and them. Okay, guys.
Salute, bro.
See you in happy hour, brother.
Yes,
yeah, I'll see you Thursday. Greg, keep up the good work at school, bro.
Thank you.
Oh, G, what do you got today? Is that a cookie? What is that? Is like a zebra cake? That's a pink zebra cake. I like zebra cakes, quite frankly. I was there, I used to crush zebra cakes. But you know what? I like cosmic brownies.
Oh man.
I like. I used to have the nut kids.
My favorite were the chocolate cherry cream pies.
Oh yeah, those are good too. They're good too. G, you got a stash of those pink zebra cakes right now?
They're in the snack closet at my house. So.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's by the way,
yep. So you have Malamars up there?
Listen, I agree with that. Somebody in the comment section about Chef Jew. And speaking of Chef Jew,
what's up, y'all? This is Chef Jew. Looking for a great chef for your next catering party, private party, office party, etc. with welcome watering meals and desserts. Let Chef Jew Catering and Sweet Treats take care of it for you at an affordable price. Call me at 786-804-8096. Also, reach me at chefjewcatering@gmail.com. Direct message on Facebook and Instagram at Chef Jew's Catering. Chef Jew's Catering and Sweet Treats. Food with a passion. We do it all.
By the way, if you're in the Florida area, he delivers cookies now. So just so you know.
Those cookies look banging. Those white chocolate ones look banging.
Oh, yeah.
Banging. And yes, love you too, my brother. That's why we're repping here on the channel. But yeah, I mean, so you don't have them, G, because Malamars are in New York.
No, Jackson, what's up? Sorry.
No, it's all right. Scott Jackson in the house, much better than zebra cakes. Yeah, zebra cakes are like they're generic, but I'll crush a zebra cake if you put it in front of me. I'm not gonna hate on a zebra cake. Usually, G's got ice cream, so today he went for zebra cakes. I don't know what are you gonna do. But yeah, man, it is what it is. We go up against Tennessee. What's your guys' predictions for the Tennessee game here? Does Snoop Huntley get in the game first and foremost, and do we pull out the victory?
Well, I think they're waiting on. I think if Skylar Thompson is ready to go, they're going to go with Skylar Thompson.
I hate that. G.
I'm
You're probably right, but
him and Skylar another shot. But I really hope Tyler Huntley plays. I have no desire to watch this game Monday, but I will. But I'll be watching. I'll be rooting for us. I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I want to tank, but I want to see the team win. So I'm not sure what I want. But if Tyler Huntley plays, I mean, I'm going to be hyped for the game no matter. I'm going to be hyped for the game no matter what. I prefer to see Tyler Huntley, but
I got to call, and I got to say, to a side, no, sir. Actually, Newark City water comes from the Passaic Valley Water Commission. Actually, our water, we own these lakes up in the mountains of West Jersey and the New York border up there, which is like these beautiful, pristine reservoirs. If you go all the way out into the woods and you're hiking, there's signs that say property of the city of Newark. And they funnel the water out of the reservoir and they supply all the towns along the way. The Passaic Valley Water Commission. And that's where we get our water.
And did you hear anything about you heard about that Brett Favre says he has Parkinson's disease because of his concussions?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why he raided the welfare
in
Mississippi with his Wranglers on? That's sad though that he has that. I mean that is sad. That's
and why he sent the junk picture?
Yeah. Favre's been on a tear, man, ever since he left. Ever since the Jets messed him up. I was at that game, that last game. That wasn't pretty. Oh no, didn't he go to Minnesota after the Jets? I think he did. We got Member in here, and he said, "You wrecked my joke." And yeah, no, I'm just very because I don't want people to think it's true. That's why, Mike. I don't want people to think it's true. We're drinking out of the Hudson, maybe the East River. I don't know what they do in Brooklyn, but Phil, we go against Tennessee with all those wide receivers with a depleted secondary. Sure does make me queasy. Yeah, our secondary. I'll tell you what. I don't like the Poyer signing.
He's a secret agent for Buffalo.
Yeah, he really hasn't been good. Michael K., what's your opinion on Poyer anyway?
You want to drop the link? Or did you drop the link?
Yeah,
okay,
I dropped it. You can drop it again. If no one comes up, we'll dip out in a few. But
all right,
yeah, I want to know what Michael K. thinks of Poyer because I feel like we also take guys that other teams said we can live without, and then we take them and they don't get us to the promised land. And I love Tyreek, and Tyreek showed out, did what he had to do. But it's funny because KC still won 2 more chips after letting him walk. And it's
I'm convinced that Stephen Ross and Chris Greer are trying to do something. Like I said, I think they only want Tua for the money. So I think they knew they couldn't re-sign Wilkins, AVG, and Robert Hunt. So they went out how can we get the tickets? Oh my God. So they went out, they got Odell, that's a flashy name. They went out.
You're right.
Elias Campbell, he played at the U. We gotta get him. Oh, Jordan Poyer is a friend of Tua. Oh my God, the fans. That's the only reason why I think these 3 guys are here.
No, you're right. You're right. I think you're 100% right about him. Michael K. said they liked him when he was there. He was a good player, and I couldn't stand him because he played us really good. But there's a reason they let him go, and I mean that makes sense. There's a reason we only signed him to a 1-year deal. And then Phil said, he doesn't he didn't like him on the Bills. He likes him less now for different reasons. And I mean, at the end of the day, man, you can't. I don't know why they expected they were going to build a team that was going to be championship caliber with these over the hill guys that they were signing to 1-year deals. I just don't get it. Cap, what's up, my brother?
Hey guys, how y'all doing this fine evening, man? How y'all getting through this, man?
We just getting through it by talking it out, I guess, my brother. That's all we can do, man. How you feeling?
Man, it's everybody's live right now. It's crazy, and everybody's got the same sentiments. I mean, my question to you guys is, what are we gonna do, man?
Hopefully, tank.
I would honestly love to. It sounds terrible with how much we've built up, Cap, and how far we've gotten. But quite frankly, I just think this team is not the team that's going to get us over the hump and win a championship or even close. So I think you have to start thinking about what the next move is. If there's pieces on this team that you want to build around, you got to build around them. But if you're ownership, if I was ownership, I'd be looking at who the next coach could be that could get these guys into shape. I'd be thinking about getting him or a GM and letting them choose who stays and who goes. I don't care who it is. You want to keep Tua because you think you believe in him? That's your business. You want to keep Tyreek? You want to get rid of him? Whatever you want to do. But I'm not making the decision on hiring you based on which players you like. I'm doing the reverse. I'm hiring you and letting you make the decisions. That's how I feel about it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, man, I mean, they don't want to admit that, they should have got some type of, contingency plans for everything. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like everything's not working for some reason. It's just, how can you not advance the ball in that game, man, with all the weapons you have?
It's a joke because, bro, I don't care who the quarterback is, and they can sit there and say all day that, like, Tua elevated the team. But, like, how can you say that when you have a guy like Tyreek Hill still on the team? Like, he elevates the team too. So why isn't the ball in his hands much more? Why aren't you finding ways to get the ball in his hands? And if Skylar Thompson can't get the ball in his hands, then you screwed up royally by making him the backup. And by the way, Tua was struggling to get the ball in his hands the first two games too. And take a look at Jacksonville. Buffalo manhandled them. We barely made it out alive. There's a serious problem that runs deep on this team, and it goes beyond just the quarterback, just the play calling, just a bad day. I think this team has serious fundamental flaws. I really do.
Honestly, if we're gonna go with not a rebuild, like not tear it down to studs. If I was the owner, what I would be looking to do, I would be getting a new GM in here that has a philosophy. I know people have said one of the Lions guy, one of the Chiefs guy, but I'm going to get a GM that knows how to draft and can get talent, right? I'm going in to go get Mike Vrabel as my head coach.
I would love Mike Vrabel.
Or actually, I would want Flores, but I don't think he'll come back if Stephen Ross is here. But I would go for Flores or Vrabel, but he probably won't come back. Maybe if I'm in charge or something, I don't know. But anyway, go get like a guy like Mike Vrabel. He's free. I would get rid of some guys. I mean, I would honestly build this team. Javon Holland, I know some people think, what about him? But he's young. You build around him and Phillips, Waddle, and then go find a quarterback because I don't believe in Tua. But
no, I don't either. And then Tua side says OBJ is more fictitious than Obi-Wan, and I'd say the Dolphins need a new hope. Chapter 1, a new hope. Okay, Michael K, that's what we need. So that's the reference there. And Phil says Flores could get 3 OCs this time. That might work. So he's saying, I mean, look, I get Flores didn't have an OC and he couldn't get one. It was 3. But, like, at the end of the day, I'm all for a tougher approach on this team. I'm all for a Vrabel, a defensive-minded guy. I don't, find somebody on offense, but part of that is a quarterback. If you don't have the right quarterback, you're not going to find the right OC. I don't understand to this day why Flores even fired the first OC because I thought that dude's plays were pretty good. The dude from the Patriots, he was saying the terminology was too complicated or something. I don't know. I thought he did a pretty good job. What I think is he wasn't the right fit for Tua maybe. Yeah. But then Flores by the end, bro, with the tandem of OCs, that was a joke. That was pretty bad.
Yeah. No. But that's what my dad was saying. They got rid of Chad O'Shea.
O'Shea, bro. I liked him. I don't understand why they got rid of him. I thought that was weird when Flo got rid of him. I wonder if Greer had something to do with it. I mean, I never understood that. I liked his offense. It was an old school, like, I don't know. I liked his offense.
Yeah.
Well, CB is getting that hopium out, man. You trying to go to the hopium den with CB? Because he's got the hopium. Yeah, Chad O'Shea. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. Fury fan member Phil out here. Just keeping it real. So, Cap, what would you do? What would you do in this situation, Cap?
Is he there?
I don't know. I don't know if Cap left the building. I don't know what's going on here. It's just crazy. A lot of offenses look good with Fitz running them, just saying. I mean, yeah, Fitz was a good player, man. Fitz was a good player. He was a good journeyman player. Like the thing that gets me with the Fitz thing was that year when they benched him for Tua. I think they were in a pretty good track, and Fitz seemed to be really upset that they pulled him. And I think that had Fitz stayed the quarterback of that particular team, we could have made a run because Fitz has made runs for one season before, and he was pretty upset when we pulled him. And then that's when we started. Tua had one good game, but then he had some bad games. And we never recovered from that. And I think that might have been, quite frankly, where the rift started with Flores in the front office, because I sincerely doubt that Flores made the decision to start Tua at that time in that season, knowing what we know now. And Fitz seemed genuinely unhappy, which, again, could be indicative of some bureaucratic and organizational failure that was above the level of head coach. I could 100% see that being the case. I really could. I remember when Fitz did that presser, he was so upset about it. And I thought he was going to be like, I'm handing the baton off to this kid. Like Tua had all the talent in the world, but it didn't seem like he did. It seemed like he was let down and the team was let down. Like they were kind of tanking it by putting Tua in there, which was really kind of interesting.
I thought we could have won the Super Bowl that year with Fitz.
I mean, Fitz is a beast, bro. He played for Buffalo. He played for the Jets. He had good seasons with them. And then he's a journeyman, it wears off. But that, remember, that's what's crazy is people fail to understand, like that Raiders game, we had to put Fitz in just because Tua could not get it done. And then we win the game. It's like Flores was doing that kind of thing too. Like, and I think that also fed into it. Like they were like, stop messing with the kid. Like, I think so much came down to Tua and Flo, and Flo just being like, his kid ain't got it. He ain't ready to win games. Chan Gailey told everyone Tua wasn't ready for the front office, forced them to play Tua. I think it's probably true, man.
I think I don't know if you've seen those things on Netflix. They're like the untold documentaries. I can't, if they ever make one about the Brian Flores and in this situation, I'm ready for that documentary whenever that comes.
Hell yeah. And Phil's just on a tear, man. He's just hitting on Devontae, Flo. Phil's going wild, man. Phil's going wild. CB83 is coming at you today, G. I don't know. He's coming at you here.
That was my delusional because, I wasn't on YouTube during the time. I thought we could have, dude, I live in Patriot country. I was telling people we were going to win the Super Bowl with Fitzpatrick.
That's wild.
What do you want me to do?
This is wild. Yeah, Phil says he calls him like he sees him. He's a Fury fan member, guys. If you are not a Fury fan member, click the join button, become a member. It's really not pricey. You get your comments highlighted. You get to see the written column. You get behind the scenes stuff. You get the little icon next to your name so everybody knows. But click subscribe. Click subscribe if you're still in here. Join the community. You see how we vibe with each other. You see how we have our conversations. You see how it's funny. We talk. We do things. It's the Fury Fam channel. Phin-Addict Fury channel, and check out Happy Hour Thursday with G and Lucci and Shake, and it's a good time. And check out we got the G rants after games. We got me on Mondays. You got my reactions and rants. There's a lot going on in this channel, so support this channel. It's one of many bringing you Finn's content, but I think we got our own little lane in here that you guys could rock with. G, what's your closing thoughts? Let's just send them off with something.
Tim Boyle season, baby. We're gonna win the Super. Tim Boyle's gonna win us the Super Bowl. It ain't over till it's over. All you fickle out there, hop on board.
Woo!
Yeah. Larry, you're a fake fan if you're not supporting Tim Boyle. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding.
That's too funny. All right, G.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not looking forward to the game. I think this game. I wish they could flex this game to 1 o'clock.
Me too.
We gotta wait till Monday night to see this clown show. I'm gonna be watching, but I'm not expecting a win. Tennessee is bad. I don't know why. I feel like Tennessee is gonna beat us, unless Tyler Huntley plays. Then I'll be hyped. But I'm not expecting much. I can't wait. I might go to the airport or the hotel. It's like a half an hour away. I might go up to the hotel this year. I might call out of work and go to the hotel and give this team a piece. I don't know if you saw that, Larry, on the Finn's tailgate. The Deuce Goose. John.
Yeah, I did see that. Yes.
He was going to go to McDaniel to give him. He was out of the stadium.
Yeah. He's crazy, bro. He's wild. And apparently McDaniel left already. It's just wild. CB, thank you very much for the love. Guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Tim Boyle going to throw a 102-yard pick six this time. Phil has had enough. Phil is completely just he's done. And I don't blame him. And that's where we're at. And I wish it was a 1 o'clock game too. I was not that happy that it wound up being, I found out it was a Monday night game. I'm like, oh, geez, like I got to sit through all Sunday, not watching anything. Like Sunday's the best time in the middle of the afternoon. I have nothing to do anyway. Let's just watch the Dolphins, whether they lose or win. Now I got to have my Monday and start my week off with that. Whatever. Not that great, but it is what it is, G. So we will be hearing from you. We will be seeing the game, and we will see what happens with this season. Let's hope for Huntley. And that's about it. So Phin-Addict Fury out, G out, Larry out. We'll see you guys soon. Fins up. Later.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Easy enough, bro. Whatever. That was a pretty good show.
Yeah.